Hello Forza fans, the Nurburgring Nordschleife is here. Nords heals all, it soothes my soul. We'll get on to Forza's Update 5 very shortly. Now though, let's explain my car choice today. I know the Porsche 956 that Stefan Bellof drove to a 6-minute 11-second lap in 1983 is the true king of the ring. That lap record stood for 35 years. But the 956's successor, the 962, also sporting this iconic Rothmans livery, deserves to be given a blast round here as well. After the record-breaking lap by Bellof, the Northern Loop, or Nordschleife, was removed from the World Sports Car Championship from 1984 over safety concerns and the subsequent construction of the new Grand Prix circuit. The 962 went on to win 2 Le Mans 24-hour races and was ironically itself the other car in the hands of Jackie Ickx involved in the crash that killed Bellof himself at Spa in 1985, but didn't race competitively here at the Nordschleife. It's only fair that I take it out here to think about what could have been and talk about the latest Forza update. So in summary then, the game fixes come alongside a bunch of new content, the Nordschleife being the flagship of that, but of course there's a new career tour, a refreshed open class tour, more spotlight cars to come over the next 4 weeks, as well as 4 new car pass cars. The game fixes themselves, the one that I would be calling for the most, the short race replays, but let's have a little look at that wording. Short race replays now save up to 11 minutes. Well, as you can see here, I'm actually using a race replay. The race replays in single player were always okay. So what they're really talking about, but kind of not mentioning in the notes, is that multiplayer replays were broken, weren't they? And I think that's what they fixed up to 11 minutes. But they're quite careful to mention it's short race replays. Of course, we can also pick short and long races in multiplayer, and they often do in the Spec series and so on. Now, those races are normally 15 to 20 minutes in some way, aren't they? So what they've really said here is that you'll be able to pick part of a replay, or will the medium replays and longer race replays still fail to save? I'm not really sure. This seems to be a bit of a weird grey area for me, and it seems to be a really weird problem exclusive to Forza. I know I bang on about ACC and iRacing and AMS2 and all that stuff. AMS2's replays are actually pretty bad. It only saves the full race replay at the end, so if you want to quickly dip into a replay to re-look at an incident in single player by pausing the game, you do only tend to get a snippet of the replay, so that's not a perfect system by any means, but in ACC you can save something like 70 minutes, and in iRacing I'm pretty certain that I've saved an entire endurance race before, so it can save whatever was present on your system and whatever played out on your system. It seems like a really bizarre thing to me that replays need to be downloaded from somewhere. It just happened on your computer just now, it should have that data. Very strange. We'll see how it works, but I suppose some replay for the benefit of doing my race highlights in featured multiplayer, it might work out nicely. It's better than nothing. Let's just see how that goes. There's obviously crash fixes and stability fixes as well, and the odd smaller update included. I'll link to those game fixes on the Forza website below. But then there is one more huge thing that is a tiny fix, and it should have been done long ago. It was in my update 1.0 video saying here are the things that they haven't fixed in the game yet. It was the fact that you had to load your wheel profile every single time you went into the game. I was pleasantly surprised now that my custom settings for my SIMAGIC Alpha Mini now save. There are a ton of presets for supported wheels like Fanatec and Thrustmaster and so on. Mine doesn't actually have a preset, so the custom bindings that I have saved for my controller loading and me not having to change that every single time I load into the game, which I've had to do since October, is extremely welcome. So thank you for that. We know that penalties and AI are getting looked at. I've got videos about this already. It would be absolutely pointless of me to discuss it or go over the same ground. Content drops are important. I think those need to keep coming to keep the players who are already in the game coming back. it would be pretty bad if they just looked at our larger criticisms and decided to concentrate on that with radio silence for months on end. I think the fact they're still adding cars, they're still adding tracks, is an overall positive for us. Development time and shortcomings can't be forgotten, but we need to put it on the back burner and just see how far updates 6 and 7 go towards the penalties and AI. Curbs are a bit of an issue. You might see here that I'm avoiding some of the limits of the circuit. You can ride them quite a bit more comfortably in other games. Taking some of them seem fine, but I noticed particularly on Kyle Army and here other tracks are an issue, but there are some other tracks where they seem fine. Spa seems particularly fine from my perspective, but curbs can be a bit dodgy and they can pitch you either hard left or hard right into a barrier. So I think that is something I've not mentioned in any other videos that do need to be looked at in this. I said in a recent comment that Forza isn't dead, it was on life support. So has Update 5 revived the game? All I can say is kinda. Nordschleife is a big deal to a lot of racing fans out there. The internet went wild last week with news about potential non-exclusivity on games from Xbox and Microsoft. Could Forza stand up to Gran Turismo if it came to PS4? Probably not right now. The player numbers look a little more healthy from Steam since this release, but still lower than previous months' peak players, so I don't think there's too much to get excited about there. But we will plough on and see how it does over the course of the next month until Update 6 comes out. I hope you've enjoyed this sunset lap around the Nordschleife in the Porsche 962C. Hope it was a good homage to a car that never got a shot here in competition. It was certainly a lot of fun to drive. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy racing videos such as highlights and thoughts like this. I do reply to all of your thoughts, so as ever, get down there in the comment section and let me know if you think Forza is going in the right direction yet. It'll be really interesting to see what you think. Take care, and I'll see you soon.